Where are you going to be, Harvey?
Yes.
Where are you going to be for the board meeting?
Right where I am now, but I'm going to take off the fan.
Oh,
Good morning.
I'll start it off. Good morning, Erwin.
I just mentioned because yesterday we had a shul meeting, and there were like a dozen people in the base medrash for the meeting, and another dozen in 12 different locations. And it actually, you could hear the people who were at home on their computer, but people talking from some other part of the room, you never knew what they was in here. They thought it would be easier that way. I'm sure they still liked it, the people who were there, but it didn't run as smooth as I thought it would. I never knew that they were going to have people who just showed up. They sent out notice in the afternoon. If you want, you could come to the base medrash and be there, or you could be home. So it's a little awkward.
Well, in other words, you didn't use your computer in a base medrash.
In the base medrash, you didn't know. You just acted like you were at a regular meeting, and Jonas was running it. So when he spoke, you could hear him. Other people who were close by could hear him, but people spread around the room because they did keep some decent, like one person at a table or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
it worked, but it worked, but it was a little awkward.
I did call Jonas after the meeting. I told him that I felt he aired a very big error. And I corrected him when he announced about Phyllis.
About what?
When he talked about Phyllis.
Oh.
I told him that was inappropriate. One, you shouldn't have mentioned the whatever, as well as she's not even a member of the shul. So why would you do that? Oh, that was his answer back. Oh, he was told by a number of people that who gave it to her. I said, wow, that's good. They're better than God. They know more than they know more than anyone else on this earth, I guess.
The story had been that something that she picked up in the hospital when she was in the hospital. Then you hear this.
Yeah, well, I said, how did you know? Did you know physically? I mean, you heard from a doctor? The doctor told you? No. I said, oh, did Phyllis tell you? No. I went through the whole litany of who possibly could have told them. I said, well, look, does it sound like anyone? Does it sound like anyone who would know positively where it came from? Well, I guess you're right. I said, I guess. I said, Jonas, I'm surprised. You're a professional. I can't believe you did this. You know, you've lowered my belief in trusting you now on what you say. That ended the conversation.
It's hard.
Right,
it's hard to take you seriously when you have that fan on your head.
Thanks.
It looks great. It looks great.
No, I didn't. I just spoke to him about it. That's okay. I'll leave it on. Okay. I'll make you feel good. Here. I'll make you feel real good. All right. Here we go. Well, I could reverse it or reverse the fan and go the other way.
It's pulling your hair straight up.
Yeah, right. There we go. Slow it down. And I'm telling you now, I know the rabbi can't get on. I'm telling you, because Larry Fish, right over here in that upper right-hand corner, if you go onto the participants, you'll see he's listed as the host, and he now controls the board, and he's not letting him in. He does it all the time. Speak up, Erwin. Get to the point.
Okay.
There we go. See, Ted, it stops.
There we go.
Here we go. All right, I'm signing off. I'll go to mute. Maybe, not yet. Wait till he comes on.
Aha.
Now he's the host. See? Now, if you look, Kenneth is the host. See? He gave it to him finally, and that's how he got in. Unbelievable. No. Morning, Rabbi.
Morning, Rabbi.
Talk to us, Rabbi.
Well, his
Unmute yourself.
Good morning, everybody.
Here he is. Okay.
I will have to speak to Larry. It shouldn't take me almost 10 minutes just to get on. So,
God bless me.
all right.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. It's been happening. So I will speak to him. Okay, gentlemen, good morning. We're on Pay Bet. That's the daf for the day. We'll try to move along. I do want to check, though, for tomorrow morning. Are we some willing to start at 8 rather than 8:15?
Yeah, no problem. I could start at 8, but the other thing is I might have to leave a little early.
Okay.
Doctor's.
All right. So tomorrow we'll start at 8. My hope is that between today and tomorrow doing that, we'll be able to include Fridays since that daf is pretty short. Okay?
Yep.
And we're a little bit ahead. We started Pay Bet, we left off, and we're going to start just before the line becomes wide, right? Hayu lefanav tzror v'cheres. Okay, that's where we're picking up on Pay Bet, right? If he had before him a pebble or a wood chip, okay, as well, or a piece of earthenware, shard, right? Rav Huna Amar Mekanech B'tzror. According to Rav Huna, he says one should wipe themselves with the wood chip or the pebble, Ve'ein Mekanech B'cheres, and not to use the shard, earthenware shard, pottery shard. Rav Chisda Amar, says Rav Chisda, Mekanech B'cheres, Ve'ein Mekanech B'tzror. Okay, Rav Chisda totally disagrees and says that one should use the earthenware shard and not use the pebble, the rock, or the wood chip. Meitive. Now, this is challenged based on the following, right? You see that this is the situation. And it's a braita. Hayu lefanav tzror v'cheres. If there was an option for him to choose between a pebble or wood chip and a piece of pottery shard, mekanech b'cheres. One uses to wipe the pottery shard, ve'ein mekanech b'tzror. And one does not use the wood chip or the shard. Okay? All right, tiyuf to the Rav Huna. This clearly seems to be a proof text to Rav Huna. Okay? Tirgama Rav from Bar Papa. Rav from Bar Papa explained it. Kame de Rav Chisda. Before Rav Chisda. Okay? Aliba de Rav Huna. Ba'agne Kalim. Okay? He explained it to Rav Chisda's view. Okay? But he's saying before Rav Chisda, Rav Huna's view is that he was talking about ba'ogne, the smooth or the rims part of the utensils. In other words, smooth pieces of potsherd would be better than using rough pieces of wood chip or stone. Okay. Now, coming back now in our Text, Hayu lefanav tzror va'asavim. Let's say he has a wood chip with some grass attached to it. Rav Chista v'Rav Himnuna. Again, a machloket. Chad amar mekanech b'tzror. One says to utilize the wood chip. Ve'ein mekanech ba'asavim. And not to clean with the grass, right? V'chad amar mekanech ba'asavim, ve'ein mekanech b'tzror. And the other says to utilize the grass and not to utilize the wood chip. Okay, meitive. Again, we'll challenge this with the following braita, right? Hamekanech b'davar sheha'or sholetet bo. One who utilizes an object, we'll say, to wipe themselves, and this object is or sholetet bo. In other words, it's flammable material, right? Shinav hatachtoniot noshrot, says the Gemara. His lower teeth, which we said before meant those ligaments that help keep the bowels in place, will fall out, okay? In other words, they'll be torn away. Lo kasha. That's not necessarily a difficulty, says the Gemara. Ha belachin, ha biaveshin. It depends if one is using wet grass or one is using dry grass, okay? Because with wet grass, it would be permissible, implying because that's not flammable. Hanitzrach lefanot ve'eno nifneh. One who needs to relieve himself and is unable to relieve himself. Rav Chista v'Ravina, again a discussion among the two sages. Chad amar ruach ra'ah sholetet bo. According to one, okay, he says there is some sort of evil spirit, an offensive odor, but that's what it means. Okay, that is controlling him. V'chad amar ruach zohama sholetet bo. And the other says that there is a detestable odor about him. Okay? So what is this explanation? All right? So the Gemara says, Tanya, Braita, Keman de amar ruach hama sholetet bo. According to the one who says that there is a offensive odor about him, right? The Tanya is taught, hanitzrach l'nikavav va'ochel. Okay, one who eats and has to defecate, right, but continues eating. Dome letanur shehasikuhu al gav afaro, is similar to a oven, okay, where that oven is heated on the top of existing ashes. Okay? In other words, it's not going to work. V'zohi tchilat ruach zohama. And that's why there is the beginning of this disgusting odor. Okay? In other words, either he sweats or he says whatever. Okay? Hutzrach lefanot ve'eno yachol lefanot. If one has the necessity to defecate and is unable to do so, Amar Rav Chista, says Rav Chista, Ya'amod v'yeshev. Ya'amod v'yeshev. Okay? He's suggesting that he should do some kind of exercise. All right? Stand up and sit down. Stand up and sit down. Okay? Rav Hanan Mahandahardaya, says Rabbi Hanan, Amar Yistalek L'Tzadim. He should move from side to side. He suggests also exercise, okay, but a different manner. Rav Himnuna Amar Yimashmesh B'Tzror Ba'oto Makom. Rav Himnuna says he should work in that place, namely in the rectum, okay, with some sort of wood chip or pebble. Okay. V'Rabbanan Amrei Yasich Da'ato. And rabbis say, they advise, right, that he should take his mind off it. In other words, focus on something else, and then he will be able to go. Amarle, he said to him, Rav Acha Bered the Rabba, the Rav Ashi. And Rav Acha, the son of Rabba, said to Rav Ashi, okay, the following. Kol shekain dechima sach da'ate, lo, okay, all right, mafne, okay, all the more so if he takes his mind off it. How is he going to be able to defecate, to relieve himself? Okay, all right. Amarle, yasich da'ato midvarim acherim. Okay, what he means is he takes his mind off of other things, okay, and focuses on what he has to do. Amar Rav Yirmiyah midifti, ledidi chazi li hahutaya, bekam viati. Rav Yirmiyah from Difti says personally, he says, I happen to have seen a certain Arab, okay? And what did he do? He got up and sat down, got up and sat down, okay? Ad deshafach kikadera, until it poured out of him like a pot, okay, or a cruse of oil. So the implication being, of course, that the statement, okay, of Rav Chisda seems to be the correct one, the approach of Rav Chisda, okay? Right? Now, Tanu Rabbanan, says the rabbis in another Braita, okay? Hanichnas l'seudat keva, one who is going to partake in a complete meal, which we really means here a very large banquet kind of meal. Yahaloch ar asara pa'amim shel arba amot. He should, before he sits down to the meal, he should go back and forth 10 steps 4 times. Va'amre la, and others say, arba pa'amim shel eser, 4 times of 10 steps back and forth. Again, suggesting walking as an appropriate exercise. Okay? Eser amot v'nifneh. He goes back and forth 10 amos, 4 times, and then he should be able to move his bowels, right? V'nichnas v'yeshev b'mkomo. And then he can go in and take his seat in the banquet. Okay? I'm guessing that this is where Rambam ultimately derived his information. And when he wrote in his Mishnah Torah, okay, that the particular chapter that dealt with certain health examples and pointed out the idea of walking before trying to defecate.
This has nothing to do with Shabbos or not Shabbos at this time, right?
Right. Well, no, it doesn't per se applies to Shabbos.
Yeah.
Okay, it could, but it clearly implies in general. Okay, since they were talking about problems in the outhouse, in the bathroom, they continued that discussion. Now, okay, we come back again to our new Mishnah, and this new Mishnah is going to finish the Perek. Since we've been dealing with measurements all along as to by what is a standard an individual may be considered guilty in carrying an object out from one domain to another on Shabbat, our Mishnah picks up on that topic, right? So we start off with cheres, since that was our previous topic, right? Discussion. A potsherd. Kete bitain bain patsim lechavero. Okay, what are we talking about here? Okay, this potsherd is large enough to use as a kind of measure between boards, okay, or between planks, or between beams, okay? So in other words, number one, it's used as a utensil. Number two, It's specifically large enough, let's say if you're building a house or putting down a floor, okay, of some kind, to use it as that measurement. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. That's the view of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir says, Omer, Kedei lachtot bo et haor. Okay, he says the potsherd is large enough, okay, to scrape out any kind, to stoke a fire, to get a fire started. Now, whose measurement is larger or smaller, right? Rabbi Yossi Omer, a different example. Kedei lekabel bo revi'it. That potsherd is large enough, okay, to hold a revi'is of a liquid, a quarter of a log, right, of a liquid. Right? Again, by the way, used as some sort of utensil. Amar Rabbi Meir, af alpi she'en raya ledavar, zecher ledavar. Even though I don't have a text to support my view, he's saying, there's a text, sort of a ismachta almost, that will refer to it. And he cites, lo yimatzei b'mechitato, okay? Namely, he's citing here, okay, again, not find pieces of the shard, right? Cheresh lachtoch eish mikod, to use the fire, to use the shard to help stoke or to create fire in the furnace, in the hearth. Amar le Rav Yossi, says Rav Yossi, Misham Raya, you consider this a possible proof, source? Lachsof Mayim Begava. No, he says, I've got a better one. What about the pasuk that says to remove water from a cistern? So his argument of using the potsherd as a utensil to hold water seems, from this point, would appear to be a better argument. However, the Gemara continues as follows. Ibayilaho, if you want, one would ask, Shi'ura de Rabbi Meir Nafish, is the measure of Rabbi Meir the larger standard? O Shi'ura de Rabbi Yossi Nafish, or is the measure, the standard of Rabbi Yossi greater? Mistabra, Shi'ura de Rabbi Yossi Nafish. It would appear logical that Rabbi Yossi's measurement is larger. Umikra Shi'ura de Rabbi Meir Nafish. But the verse, okay, that Rabbi Meir is citing seems to make his measurement larger. De'i sal gadatach Shi'ura de Rabbi Yossi Nafish. Because if it would be of your view, your opinion, that the measurement, the standard of Rabbi Yossi is greater, light la b'mana zutra. Why would he sort of curse the language of the pasuk? Why curse in regards to the larger measure, all right, rather than the smaller one? V'hadar light la b'mana rabba, and instead he cursed on the larger measure. Amar Abaye. So Abaye comes to explain. All right, matnit nami, our Mishnah also means to point out lachtot eish mikide gedola. What it means, therefore, is to use this potsherd to scrape a fire out of a large furnace, a large hearth. Okay, and therefore it requires a much larger potsherd to be able to do that. Now, Rabbi Yossi Omer Misham Raya, when Rabbi Yossi challenged, we see it says, Shapir ka'amar le Rabbi Yossi le Rabbi Meir. Well spoken, so to speak. Well spoken was that of Rabbi Yossi's challenge to Rabbi Meir. Right? For Rabbi Meir, lo mebaye ka'amar. But Rabbi Meir, okay, was really answering in a format of lo mebaye, right? That particular style where it's really not necessary to say this because of that. So that's what he's saying. Lo mebaye midi dechashiv leinshe delo lishtakach le. It's not necessary, okay, for people to say, deal with something, okay, that they find that's smaller, right? 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 Ela afilu midei de lo chashiv leinshe, lo lishtakach le. Okay? Right? And so therefore, even something else, okay, which could be of no value to most people, still might be large enough to be over and carrying it out on Shabbat. Okay? And so therefore, this doesn't contradict the view of Rabbi Meir. Okay? And that's where the Gemara concludes, Hadrana lach hamotzi yayin. Okay, let's go on. What about our new Mishnah? Okay? Our new Mishnah totally, I would suggest, goes in a different direction from the main theme of Shabbat topics that we've been discussing up to now. But it continues the literary format that our last Mishnah had, namely raising a question about an object and trying to seek to find, are there biblical sources, or if they're not actual sources, ismachta, citations that could support an answer to the issue. Okay? So that's where the new Mishnah and the new Perek is going to take us. It's sort of a format of how do we know X, okay, right, or A, B, C, D, or things like that. Well, if we can cite verses, perhaps this then gives us an answer, okay? So that's where we're going to pick up, right? Our new Mishnah on the bottom of Pei Bet, new Perek. Amar Rabbi Akiva, this is Rabbi Akiva, Minayin la'avoda zara shemita'ama b'masa. How do we know that carrying an idol, okay, is going to render the individual tameh? Okay, kinida, on the same level as if he had contact with a woman that's nida, okay? Because if he were to have any contact with her, not only would he become significantly tameh, okay? Shene'amar, as it says in a pasuk, okay, the following, Tizrain kemo davar tzat tomerla, right? Thou shalt cast them, the idols, away like a menstruous woman or a menstruous thing, right? Mani da mitam'a b'masa, argues Rabbi Akiva, the same way that a menstruant woman renders tameh through carrying, af avodah zara mitam'a b'masa. So likewise, an idol would be defile the individual by carrying it. Now, are we talking about the entire idol? Are we talking about only pieces of an idol? Remember, okay, in Avodah Zarah, if I remember correctly, it says that if one smashes an idol, okay, and breaks it apart, one could use the pieces of that idol for other purposes, because by doing so, it shows that the worshiper or the worship of that idol is no longer valid. Okay? So let's assume, for example, you have some sort of idol on a marble base. Well, you knock off the idol, you knock it down, okay? You still have that marble base at the bottom that could be used for some other purpose, okay? If it's a, right? So I'm just trying to give a reasonable example, right? So let's pick up now back in the Gemara, right? Tnan hatam. We learned a Mishnah elsewhere that taught. Mi shahaya beitos amuch la'avodah zara v'nafal. If his house was next door to a place of idol worship, right? And the house collapsed, right? In other words, they may have shared a common wall, right? Asur livnoto. It's forbidden to rebuild it as it was. Ketzad ya'aseh. What should he do? Kones letoch shelo dalet amot. He must move inside his, we'll call it boundary, his, what do you call it? Land, right? His mark, right? His property line. That's what I want. He must move inside his property line, dalet amos, 4 amos, uboneh, and then he may build, right? Now, what happens the following in this Mishnah? Haya shelo v'shel avodah zarah, right? If it belonged to him and the same wall belonged to him and, okay, it was a common wall, nidun mechza al mechza, says the Mishnah. Okay, it should be considered half and half. Half the wall belonging to the idol worship building, half the wall belonging to him. So what does he do? Avanav va'etzav va'afarav mitam'in kesheretz. The stones that are his, the wood that is his, the dust, the mortar that is his, will render him, defile him on the equivalent of a sheretz. Okay? Shnei amar, shaketz tishaktzenu v'gomer. Thou shalt treat it altogether like a creeping thing. Rabbi Akiva omer, kinida. Rabbi Akiva, however, says, no, it's on the defiles on the status of a nida. Right? Shnei amar, as said in the pasuk, Tizreim kemo dava, manida mitam'a, okay? That it, one discards it, just as that of a nida, all right? Just renders tamei, all right? Mitam, right? Manida mitam'a b'masa, argued Akiva, the same way that a nida renders, defiles with carrying, af avodah zarah, mitam'a b'masa. So likewise, any aspect of idol worship is going to defile a person through carrying. Okay? Amar Rava. Rava, however, suggests the following. In that verse that Akiva cites, Tizreim kemo dava, right? He explains it as follows. Tizreim, the Amar Kra, Nachrinhu minach kazar. Namely, it should be foreign to you, alienated to you, the same way that a stranger is. Say, go out. Tomarlo, hikanes out, right? Right? To go tell him not to come in. Al tomarlo. Don't allow him to come in. In other words, don't allow any interaction with it. V'amar Rava, and Rava then further says, B'masa, the kuli alma lo plige ham'a, right? With regards to carrying, okay, the aspects of an idol, everyone is in agreement that it renders tuma, defiles, right? okay, as on the status of a nida, like Rabbi Akiva's view. The ha'itkish nida, as he associates it with nida. Ki plige, where are they arguing? Be'evan misama, when they talk about a heavy stone, a large boulder. Okay? Rabbi Akiva savar kenida. Rabbi Akiva says, again, it's still like nida. Mad nida mitam'a be'evan masa. Af avoda zara mitam'a be'evan masa. Okay? Rabbi Akiva is saying with a boulder, if let's say a zav leans on it, sits on it, a nida has contact on it, okay? That heavy boulder, okay, still is going to defile, right? Same way the nida. V'Rabbanan savra sheretz, but the rabbis hold, okay, that it is more like a tuma, a level of the sheretz, namely, ma sheretz lo metame ba'evan masama, the same way that a sheretz, a reptile, okay, let's say, only defile, it cannot truly defile a large heavy stone, a large boulder. Af avoda zara lo metama ba'evan misama. So likewise, idol worship, the idol cannot defile, render tame regarding a heavy stone. Ula Rabbi Akiva, but according to Rabbi Akiva, Lamai hilchata itkish l'sheretz. If that's the case, what does he associate defilement on the level of a sheretz? Lemesh meshaim, those accessories to idol worship. Ula Rabbanan, and according to the rabbis, Lamai hilchata itkish lenida, and according to the rabbis, on what level would they say something is defiling on the level of a nida? Okay, lemasa veloksha, okay, rachama na lenevela. Okay, would they say it's for carrying? Okay, or maybe they would say that it is right, something else, right? Namely, right, that it would be more on a level of making it equivalent to tuma from contact with an avela. And yes, says the Gemara, hachinami. Indeed, that is the case. Elamani da einala evarim. Okay, since we say that in regards to a nida, it doesn't apply to her limbs. Af avodah zara einala evarim. So likewise, we should apply, if we accept Rabbi Akiva's view, that even the limbs of a idol, okay, also aren't of the same level of a nida. Okay, ve'elaha debai Rab Chama bar Guria. But what about that of the view of Rabbi Chama bar Guria, who says, avodah zara yeshna la'averim, or eina la'averim. Regarding, excuse me, idol worship, do we say that it's limbs, parts of the idol, or we say that it's not, that parts of the idol are not, okay, going to convey that level of tuma? Tifshot le mehad l'rabanan eina la'evarim. Okay, if we were to solve it for him according to the view of the rabbis, we would say it has no respect regarding the limbs. Rav Chama bar Guria, aliba de Rav Akiva. No, we're saying that Rav Chama bar Guria holds the same view as does Rabbi Akiva, and that's why he's asking that question. Okay? Ba'ile, and that's why he's raising that issue. Okay, let's go on now. For Rabbi Elazar, what about Rabbi Elazar? What does he say? Be'evan misama, regarding that boulder, that heavy stone, the kuli alma lo plige, de lo mitama. Okay, everybody is in agreement, basically. Okay, that it does not defile. Okay, ki plige b'masa. Okay, but where they do argue, okay, is in regards to carrying it. In other words, they argue that the stone is more like the rabbi's statement, that it's tuma like a sheretz. And okay, but if one were able to lift and carry the stone, then maybe it would be tuma on the level of a nida. Rabbi Akiva savar kanida. Again, why? Because Rabbi Akiva holds that it's like a nida, namely, ma nida mitama b'masa, af avodah zara mitama b'masa. The same way that a nida, okay, when carried, defiles on that level, so likewise any carrying of an idol defiles by carrying on that level. V'Rabbanan savrei kasheretz. And the rabbis, however, hold that it's according to the level of a sheretz. Namely, ma sheretz lo mitama b'masa, the same way that a rodent, a sheretz, does not defile when carrying, af avodah zara lo mitama b'masa. So likewise, any aspect of avodah zara does not defile, okay, by carrying. It may, however, defile on the level that we said of a sheretz. For Rabbi Akiva, back to Rabbi Akiva now. Excuse me. Lamai hilchata itkish l'sheretz. Again, we ask the question, on what level does he make the law to associate tuma vis-a-vis a sheretz level? The mashmashin, again, to the utensils, to the accessories of avodah zarah. V'Rabbanan, and as far as the rabbis go, lamai hilchata itkish l'nida, on what level do they say that the tuma is on the nida level? Ma nida eina la'evarim, the same way that nida, its defilement is not through her separate limbs. Okay, if she just puts her hand on an object, that's not sufficient. Okay, for example, af avodah zarah eina la'evarim. So likewise, avodah zarah, the limbs, the parts of the idol do not render it that. Let's go on a little bit to pay Gimel, okay, and a bit of time that we still have. All right, okay. All right, we'll do what we can. All right, for Rabbi Akiva, and according to Rabbi Akiva, lamai hilchata itkish lenida ke lemasa. And as far as the view of Rabbi Akiva, that he associated the law of nida regarding carrying, okay, with avodah zarah. Remember, lokshe l'nevela. Why doesn't he just simply identify its level of defilement to that of a nevela? And hachinami, indeed, this could be the case, right? Ela manida eina la'evarim. But whereas we've seen that the view is that with regards to nida, it doesn't apply to any of her limbs. This was the view of the rabbis, right? Af avodah zara eina la'evarim. So likewise here too, with regards to avodah zara, its limbs, its parts, do not apply to render the defilement. Elaha, the by Rav Chama Bar Guria. Okay, Avodah Zarah. But again, what about that view of Rav Chama Bar Guria in regard to Avodah Zarah? His question, Yeshna la'evarim or eina la'evarim? Does it apply to limbs or doesn't it apply to limbs? Tifshot le meha. It's possible to respond to it this way. Be merabanan, be merabi Akiva. Whether it's the view of the rabbis or the view of Rabbi Akiva, de eina la'evarim, that it doesn't apply to its limbs. Rav Chama Bar Guria kerava matne ba'ile aliba de Rabbi Akiva. Namely, Rav Chama Bar Guria was of the view, learned it the way Rava did and would teach it according to the view of Rabbi Akiva. Meitive. But we'll raise an objection here from a Braita. Okay? Avodah Zarah, kasheretz. We say that the Avodah Zarah, the level of defilement, is like that of a sheretz, a creeping thing. Mishamsha and its accessories, kasheretz, and also its utensils, its equipment, right? Like a sheretz. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Avodah Zarah Kenida. And Rabbi Akiva says, no, that the idol's tuma level is like a nida, mishamsha kasheretz, and its accessories are like a sheretz. Bishlema Rabbi Elazar necha. That's acceptable when we want to understand the view of Rabbi Elazar, right? Ela l'Rabba, but the view of Rabba, kasha. There's a problem. Amar lach Rabba. And Rabba would therefore respond and say to you, Mi alima mimatnitin, is this stronger than our Mishnah? The Katani, Eitzav va'avanav va'afarav mitamim kasheretz. That Mishnah that we saw before from Avodah Zarah, where it taught that its wood and its stones and its mortar, its dust, defiles on the level of a sheretz. Va'okimna mai kasheretz. And we understood this Mishnah when we said, what does it mean on the level of a sheretz? De lo metame ba'even mesama. When we said that it doesn't render or defile a very large stone, a boulder. Hachanami, here too, de lo metame ba'even mesama. Here too, we say that it doesn't defile a large stone. Meitive. But wait a second, says the Gemara. We're going to challenge this view, okay, with another Braita. Nochri v'nochrit. Okay? That should be the text in the art scroll. Okay? However, Koren Steinsaltz goes back to the original text of the Gemara, Goy or Goya. Okay? And the implication here is that the rabbis ruled that a Gentile would render contact with a Gentile was defiling on the same level as a Zav or a Zava. Okay? That's going to be our point here. Meitive, back to our Braita. Nochri unochrit, avodah zara umishamsheha. Okay? Idol worship or its accessories. Hein velo hisitan. They and not their motion or not transferring them. Okay? Rabbi Akiva Omer, hein vehesitan. Rabbi Akiva says they and their movement, their motion. Bishlema la Rabbi Elazar necha. That's acceptable to the view of Rabbi Elazar. Ela la Rabba kasha. Again, to Rava, we have a problem. Amar lach Rava, says Rava, ulata'amech. And according to your view, nachri v'nachrit, okay, a Jew and a non-Jewish male or female, nami hein v'lo hasitan, you're saying them and not their motion, not their movement. Vahatanya. But elsewhere we have a Braita that teaches as follows. The Be'er el B'nai Yisrael v'gomer, that says, speak to the children of Israel and tell them, B'nai Yisrael mitam'in b'ziva, that Jews can become defiled regarding ziva, the status of someone that is has an issue from their flesh. Ve'ein nachrim mitamim b'ziva, but Gentiles do not become tameh, okay, from any flow of their flesh. Aval gazru alehen, but the rabbis made a decree, sheyihu kizavin l'chol divreim, that they should be treated as if they are zavin, okay, because of, in all areas, in all respects. Okay, the commentary says basically they did not want Jewish children associating with non-Jewish children because they were concerned either that they would give them stuff to eat, or they would teach them avodah zarah, or ultimately that there could be this issue of pedophilia as well with Gentiles. Okay? Now, Ela Rabba mitaretz l'ta'ameh, and Rabba explains it according to his view, namely the following: Nachri v'nachrit, hein v'hasitan, they, male or female Gentile, they and their transference, their motion, their movement. Ve'even misama shalahem, and a boulder, a large stone, along with them. Avodah zara, he vehesita, movement of an idol, and right, idol worship and its movement, carrying. Avalo even misama shalah, but not the heavy movement, not the movement of a, what the idol has contact with the heavy stone. Rabbi Akiva Omer, says Rabbi Akiva, Avodah Zarah hi vehesita, idols worship and the movement, its movement. Ve'even masama shalah, and the contact that the idol might have with a heavy stone would also define. Rabbi Elazar metaretz l'tameh, and Rabbi Elazar explains it according to his view, namely the following, right? Nachri v'nachrit, hein v'hesitan, ve'even misama shalahem. The Jew and non-Jewish person, they and their carrying, their movement, and the heavy boulder along with them. Avodah zarah hi v'lo hesita, idols, he said, and not its movement. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Avodah zarah hi v'hesita. But Rabbi Akiva said, idol worship and its movement, its motion. Okay. Now, Matkifla Rav Ashi. Rav Ashi challenged this, okay, and said, Ma'i heim, what do you mean they? In other words, they and their movement. Ela Amar Rav Ashi. Rather, Rav Ashi says, Hachi Ka'amar. This is what it really means to tell us, right? Nachri v'nachrit, bein heim shehisitu et acherim, whether they transport or move others, uvein acherim shehisitu he otan, or whether others move them to me'in. are become defiled. Avodah zara shehisita acherim, an idol, okay, that's been moved by others, tahorim, or is pure. Acherim shehisitu ota tmeim. But if others move the idol, they become tamei. Meshamsheha, the accessories, bein hein shehisitu acherim, whether they're moved or carried by others, ubein acherim shehisitu otan, or whether others move them, tahorim, they are tahor. Okay? Rabbi Akiva Omer, Rabbi Akiva says, Nachri v'nachrit, Jewish, non-Jewish male or female, va'avodah zara, and the idol, bein hein shehisitu et acherim, whether others moved, whether they were moved by others, bein acherim shehisitu otan, or others move them, tmeim, they are defiled. Mishamsheha, the accessories, bein hein shehisitu acherim, whether they're moved by others, ubein acherim shehisitu otam, or whether others move them, tahorim, they are pure. Avodah zara, regarding the idol, bishlema acherim shehisitu otam, it's understandable if others moved it. Mishkachat la, that we find, that's understood. Elahi shehisita et acherim, but an idol that could move others, hechi mishkachat la, how is that even conceivable? How do you even find it? Amar Rami Barei de Rav Yiva, says Rami Barei de Rav Yiva, Keditznan, as was taught in another Braita, namely the following: Hazav bechaf maznayim, if a zav sat on one pan of scales, okay, or had contact with a scale, right, balance, right, va'ochlin umashkin bekaf shni'ah, and there were foodstuffs or drinks on the other pan of the scale, kara hazav, and the zav made the pan tilt, okay, what happens? He tipped the scales, tmeim, they are forbidden, they are tamei. Let's just roll over to the top of the next amud, karu hein, okay, if they tip the scales, tohorim, okay, they are outweigh him and they are clean. And that's where we're going to stop today so that we can pick up, as I said, at 8 o'clock tomorrow to try to get through the rest of Pei Gimel. And I believe that Pei Daled is somewhat shorter. And so hopefully we can cover that as well and have covered Fridays. All right, guys. Thank you for your cooperation this morning, and everybody stay well.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
You too. Thank you, Rabbi.
All right.
So,